Hello everybody, Tuesday, May 18th. All right, let's do this. Let's do this. Now, half the time, I'm not sure if these stories are true, but let's get into it. We're going to go through some news, specifically odd news. I used to do on these vlogs, if you want to call them that. A real vlog has editing. I talk about the news of the day, but frankly, you know, the regular news, but frankly, it's a little just depressing. There's certain things in the news that just seem like they'll never change. They'll never change. So all of the arguments and discussion and Democrats, Republicans, whatever. And my real love is just these odd stories. For example, this is from UPI.com. A kitten, all right, this is the headline. Kitten saved from traffic takes 80-mile Uber ride to rescue. Let me say that again. Don't you hate people that kind of laugh while they're talking? Yeah, that's what I do. Kitten saved from traffic takes 80-mile Uber ride to rescue. Now, some of these I just stick with the headline because that's enough. Or it's just not that interesting. Because what, you think we have pre-production meetings? I just whip out my phone and we go through it. All right, this is UPI.com. A kitten was rescued from traffic by a lady. Took an 80-mile ride in an Uber to an animal rescue place. All right, so the lady was on her way to work in Hialeah, outside of Miami. Saw a kitten weaving through traffic. Oh my Lord. Kittens are I mean, how did she even... They're tiny. Oh my Lord. Speaking of animals going wild, on TikTok yesterday I saw a video of a dog leading a lost kitten home. It looked as if the dog was saying, "Come on, man, you're lost, bro. Come with me." They've got color TV, surround sound, food, water, and snugglies. And the kid's just like, he's completely, looks like he was dazed or something. But the dog would walk a little bit and then turn back, like, come on, like he'd wait for the kitten. And the kitten followed him. So then they get to the house. The owner must have been seen this coming, obviously, it was videoing it, and they, let's go this way. They get to the house, it's raining too, it's sprinkling, They get to the house. The dog jumps up on the, into the house through the low sill there, the low landing. You have to step up a little bit. And the kitten kitten tries to make the leap and he can't make it up. And so the dog picks up the kitten in his mouth like a mama cat. And I guess mama dogs do it too, right? And lifts him into the house. Oh man, I wonder if they staged it. Do you think they? Do you think they trained it? Maybe it's an act. Maybe it's a new vaudeville act. Because people do anything for clout. Speaking of odd news, now this is kind of sad and horrific, but these people adopted a couple adopted a child from Thailand, and then part of which the goal was to post massive social media about this and the child, the whole process, the baby. But that was an express goal of theirs, which I'm pretty sure they talked about it before. In other words, they were on their social media talking about, this is what we're going to do. We're going to adopt a baby and we're going to post it all on social media. So then they found out that either the adoption agency or the Thailand laws, whatever it is, they were not allowed to post anything about the baby or any image of the baby or kid. I'm not sure if it was a baby, for 1 year. And so they ended up canceling the adoption because that was the reason that they adopted, was for the social media clout. I mean, there's something very wrong about that. I mean, what? And there's actually another story tied to that couple, but I can't even share that one. That they did. They did another horrific thing, much worse. But I'm not going to repeat that one. Just look it up on Google. You'll find it. All right, so what's the deal with this kitten in an Uber? What the hell is going on? So she's going to work. She sees the kitten walking around the traffic. She was able to get the kitten in her car, but when she got to where she works, the cat had disappeared into the steering column. Huh? That doesn't make sense. Maybe up inside the, underneath where the wires are is maybe what they mean. You have to take the steering wheel off to get to the steering. But anyway, when I got to work, I had no idea where she was. I could hear her meowing. Again, this is UPI.com. She got the cops and the fighters at the hospital that she works at to help her. I guess they're stationed there, a few of them. So they got it out. And then she's like, well, what do I do with it? Where do I take it? She couldn't take it home because her dog is not feline friendly. And local shelter said, hey, bro, no room at the inn. We know how that went. Started a whole religion. Maybe that's what she should do, right? Start a whole cat religion. And this is Miami. This is down in Miami. It might work. You would probably get some takers down there in Miami or California, one or the other. All right. So the shelters wouldn't take her. a shelter called Furry Friends Rescue in Jupiter, Florida, could take the kitten. But she couldn't take time off of work. She has to work. We all have to work. And Jupiter is 80 miles from Hialeah. So, she got an Uber. That is just all kinds of problems for the. Well, it depends. It really depends on the Uber driver. So the Uber driver, Jose Jimenez, he was into it. He said it was his first hour-long drive acting as a feline shuttle service. Now, Jose, what is the speed limit between Hialeah and Jupiter? Hour drive? 80 miles? Jose! Actually, in Florida, it probably is 80 miles an hour speed limit. Yeah, he said it was the first time he transported a cat. But he's an animal lover, and he said, I'll do it anytime you want. And of course, he was into whatever paltry commission Uber is paying these days on the $160 bill. I mean, in other words, it was a good fare for him, even though they keep cutting the big car sharing service keep cutting what the drivers get, as I understand it, from drivers. But still, that's a good payout. I have no idea what they make. When I was in high school, let's see, so around the late 60s, right? We started, so I was born in 60. So yeah, you start getting to the age where, you know, we were all involved in sports, of course, all the time, hockey, everything. And I think it was right around 68 that we told our mom we didn't want like tennis shoes. Well, in Canada they call them runners. We didn't want like, you know, the old school style, because what was becoming popular was Adidas. Specifically, I think after the Olympics in Mexico City. In fact, Adidas had a style called Mexico. It's still around, the Adidas Mexico. Which I think it was the stripe. I think it was a white shoe. And I think the stripes were the colors of Mexico, if I'm not off my rocker, which I could be. But Adidas was what you wanted. Specifically, the most popular one, I remember, this is in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, in the late 60s, was Adidas ROM. Now, I don't know if Adidas ROM, R-O-M, is still a style. It might be just for, you know, tradition. Now, the most popular one is Adidas RAM, Random Access Memory. No, I'm kidding. So the other shoe, you didn't have Nike. You didn't have, as far as I remember, I think there was a couple of like lower rung ones, but really it was Adidas and Puma. Those were the two. And, you know, the cool kids, you know, you had your mass coolness of the Adidas, like, but everybody was kind of wanting those Adidas. But now, I have to tell you, my Catholic mother with 6 kids in the late 60s, she's like, you don't need Adidas. I'm like, no, but no, you don't understand. We really do. We really do need Adidas. And this is the kind of mom, I think, like many mothers, probably then and now. Because there was, I think, a brand, I forget what the name of it was, but they, of course, thought, all right, Adidas has 3 stripes. All we need is 4 stripes. And they were, you know, the discount shoe version of Adidas ROM. Hey, I'm sure that this is you know, I'm sure a million comedians have touched on this, but I definitely remember going through it. Our mom saying, "Hey, you know, these have the stripes, and they're 25% of the price." And those would be good. You look good going back to school. And when you're done, when you outgrow them, you can give them to your brother. And it's vice versa. We'll just move them down the family. You know, 6 kids, we'll just move them down the line. And your little sister, 7 years from now, can wear these shoes. And then, when she's done, we will have a ceremony for the shoes, and we will burn them at a traditional Catholic shoe burning ceremony, where we burn all of the shoes and the clothes that have been handed down and they're no good anymore to anybody. And we will burn them, and then we will take the ashes out in our Volkswagen bus, and we will spread them around the neighborhood as we make signs of the cross and look skyward and say, "Thank you, Lord, for the use of these hand-me-downs for 7 to 10 years, depending on the garment." That actually could be a pretty good stand-up routine now that I think about it. If I did it right. But anyway, Puma and Adidas were at the time, you know, popular then in Canada, right? But they had been already. It wasn't like they just showed up. They were rolling. I think in Germany, before becoming international sensations, they were already popular among athletes, just like Nike. Nike became popular among athletes first, and then the general public. So I think and this would be interesting to look up too, I think it was the Olympics that sort of accelerated their growth because of the growing popularity of, you know, track and field, athleticism, jogging. And this is where they dropped the ball. Why? Or maybe they had, you know, jogging shoes or running shoes, specifically for jogging. Am I making any sense? How did Nike make such a splash so fast? Was Adidas asleep at the wheel, letting Nike come in underneath them? And if so, why? What did Nike have? I know they had the credibility of the waffle sole, and he was selling them out of his car, and it just grew organically. But it seems like somebody slept on their success and let Nike in. And look what happened. But then Run DMC was wearing those Adidas tracksuits, and everything was okay. No, I have no idea, but it just seemed a little interesting. Or was the Nike waffle sole and related qualities of the Nike shoe, was it that much better than what was available? Was it a design success? Because if the Olympic athletes are wearing Adidas to the Mexico City Games, then they obviously met the need of high jumpers, runners. I'm gonna do a little homework on this when I get home. It's kind of fascinating. How did Nike? If you're a runner in Oregon in the early, whenever Nike was founded, didn't you already have Adidas? And so if Phil Knight came up to you at the track meet and said, "Hey man, I made these shoes in my waffle iron," Why didn't people say, oh yeah? Well, I made these on my George Foreman grill. I mean, you know, so what was it about the shoe that separated it from the products that were already available? And maybe they did. Maybe they did say, okay, no thanks, no thanks, bro. I don't want your waffle shoe. But as legend tells it, or as I understand it, they loved it. Runners loved it. So yeah, we need more. We need more shoes cooked on breakfast breakfast items. Do you have any cast iron muffin shoes made in cast iron muffin pans? Maybe in the early days he offered well done waffle shoes, or soft waffles. Maybe that was one of his original designs, the soft waffle. All right, I've lost my mind. Guys, enjoy the weather. Spring is out. Everybody's getting vaccines, or smart people are getting vaccines. And we're coming back to life. Go Team USA.